Hsien Yang, youngest son of Singapore's founding Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew, has urged Singaporeans to elect members of parliament who will serve as effective checks on government power and faithfully represent the people's voice in the legislature. In a Facebook post dated 24 April 2025, Lee reminded voters that Parliament is not meant to function as an echo chamber. He emphasized the need for MPs, who are active, engaged, and unafraid to challenge government policies and actions. According to Lee, the role of an MP is to attend sessions, remain alert, ask questions, and ensure that government policies are debated thoroughly and implemented fairly. He highlighted the importance of scrutinizing candidates in the lead-up to the general election, warning voters not to be swayed by superficial charm or social media popularity. He stressed, MPs must ensure that legislation passed is just and fair, not tools for control or oppression. He encouraged Singaporeans to send competent MPs to Parliament, individuals who would not only raise residents' concerns, but also offer meaningful opposition when necessary. Lee praised opposition MPs for their active participation in parliamentary proceedings, stating that they overwhelmingly speak up and raise important issues. Citing the example of Dr. Tan Cheng Bock, a former People's Action Party MP, who frequently voiced independent views during his 26 years in office, Lee lamented the lack of similar behavior among current PAP MPs. He criticized the ruling party for its tight discipline, noting that PAP MPs rarely dissent publicly, even during major decisions such as the recent goods and services tax hikes. No PAP MP spoke up against the increase, he observed, suggesting a worrying lack of independence within the party ranks. The post also highlighted the significance of parliamentary votes, even by minority MPs. Lee pointed to the Workers' Party lifting its whip on Section 377A to allow conscience votes as a positive example. In contrast, the PAP's refusal to lift the whip, even during contentious votes, was portrayed as suppressing genuine debate. Lee noted that some PAP-backed legislation has come under public criticism for expanding state surveillance and restricting freedoms of speech and assembly, often passed without meaningful internal opposition. Parliament, Lee said, should reflect Singapore's full diversity, not just along racial or gender lines, but through a broad spectrum of ideas, backgrounds, and lived experiences. He warned against a tyranny of the majority and underscored the need to listen to minority voices and alternative viewpoints. He also urged MPs to ensure accountability by consistently asking tough questions and demanding thorough financial oversight. Data showed that the Progress Singapore Party, an alternative party, has asked the most questions in recent parliamentary sessions, he said. Lee cautioned voters not to be distracted by candidates' personal traits, lifestyle branding, or popularity on platforms like TikTok. Being an MP is a serious job, he stated, urging citizens to choose individuals who demonstrate commitment, capability, and a willingness to challenge the status quo. Character traits such as empathy, sincerity, courage, and integrity were identified as essential qualities for an MP. Lee added that MPs should be willing to raise concerns about sensitive issues, including ministerial salaries, property matters involving ministers, inflation, and housing affordability. Lee advised voters to assess both the party and the individual candidate. He questioned whether some parties merely use MPs to fill seats or genuinely promote a diversity of opinion. Consider whether the candidate understands the real struggles on the ground and is able to fearlessly articulate that for you in Parliament, he said. Lee further suggested that Parliament should not be a stepping stone for careerist civil servants or military officers, but rather a platform for conviction politicians, those who prioritize shaping public discourse and protecting civil liberties. Lee Hsien Yang has long distanced himself from the contemporary PAP, stating in a 2019 Facebook post that today's PAP is no longer the PAP of my father. It has lost its way. He remains a vocal critic of the party and has grown increasingly aligned with alternative movements such as the PSP, which was founded by Dr. Tan Cheng Bock. Lee left Singapore in 2022 following legal and political actions involving his family. He and his wife, Lee Hsien, were granted asylum in the United Kingdom in 2024 after citing political persecution. Hsien was suspended from legal practice for 15 months due to allegations related to the late Lee Kuan Yew's will. Their son, Lee Shengwu, was previously fined for contempt of court over a private Facebook post. In October 2024, Lee confirmed that he sought asylum as a last resort, but emphasized that he remained a Singapore citizen and expressed hope for a future return.